Good morning, my boy. Every morning, I am helping you to wake up, it is already my routine. Otherwise, you may sleep until late morning. Every morning, you said you are very sleepy. But, don't you think it is some sort of contradiction? Sleeping is actually extremely dangerous for any living creatures. Because, when it is sleeping, it cannot aware that it is in danger, am I correct? I mean, a risk of death must be increased a lot during your sleeping time. Then, why, our evolutional procedure did not remove this function? I mean, why, we did not develop our body to survive without sleeping? If it is really dangerous mechanism, we must remove this function from our DNA, is it? But, still we are not able to control sleeping. For example, we have many record, someone committed suicide, without taking any food. Also, we excuse many people in our history, to let them die, without feeding food. However, in our human history, even one person commits suicide, with cutting off his sleeping. Indeed, you won't eat anything without any conscious, I mean, you want to eat, then you eat. But, you may sleep without particularly your own conscious. Easy example, if you eat something during your lesson, it must be intentional. But, it is quite common that you will be falling asleep during your lesson. Of course, it is not intentional, I believe. So, sleep is one of strongest desire of living creatures, and it is impossible to skip, forget, avoid, and postpone to sleep. Actually, evolution system is excellent and practical system. Therefore, if sleeping status is really imminent risk for living life, why not our DNA try to remove it from our mechanism? Simple. Because it is more risk for us to remove sleeping function from our body. In fact, still we are not really very clear for mechanism of sleeping system in our modern science. And moreover, it is quite difficult to define common benchmark of sleeping. For example, do you know many comic artists, manga writers, they are really crazy for sleeping duration. Almost all famous Japanese comic artists, manga writers, which you know, they are working under unbelievable situation, I mean, sleeping circumstance. Therefore, if you want to be a comic artist, you have to be ready to slice off your sleeping time. Actually, not only comic artists, but any artists have this tendency. Even Leonardo da Vinci, he was also extreme abnormal sleeping life. His sleeping style was quite similar with style of comic artists, manga writers. On the other hand, now, people start to recognize that, review that. Good sleeping shall accelerate good performance of professional. I mean, sufficient sleep is necessary item of good results. Anyway, I will go on to explain the reason why we need sleeping. Upon analysis of Dr. Maiken Nedergaard, in 2013, sleep is, perchance to clean our brain. In her research, she named this mechanism as glymphatic system. In short, when we are awake, we are using brain, of course, and that moment, brain is producing waste, especially protein. These proteins contain certain substances, which accelerate dementia. Therefore, our body has system to wash away these substances. This is CSF, I don't think you have to remember this word itself. But it is something like a circulating water to clean up all our pipes in our body. However, when we are awaked, brain cell will extend its volume, in general. And it disturbs smooth running of CSF, something like a traffic jam. When we are sleeping, our brain cell also take a rest, and it shrinks its volume. It helps cleaning work of CSF. Do you know, Disneyland will carry out their big cleaning work in midnight? Because, daytime, they do not want to disturb their customers, they will do minimum cleaning only. Then, in the midnight, they do comprehensive cleaning work with bulky volume of staff. It is because, nobody there, smooth cleaning can be achieved. Not only cleaning, they do rehearsal, maintenance work as well. Midnight Disneyland is still busy and noisy Fantasia. Anyway, we are polluting our brain when we are thinking something using brain. And we need time for our brain to clean up all. By the way, I am going to introduce interesting experiment with regards to sleeping. How long we can bear without sleeping. This funny experiment was conducted by Randy Gardner when he was 17 years old. It is Guinness World Record, and he did not take a sleep 264.4 hours over 11 days. Of course, during these 11 days, he suffered so many problems. Such as, third day of experiment, he could not recognize traffic light. Fourth day, he had delusion that he became American football player. Not dream, but delusion. Sixth day, malcontrolling his muscle and mistakes for simple calculation. Eighth day, cannot speak out well, and ninth day, obvious speech impediment. And he eventually fall into deep sleep, and continue to sleep, over 14 hours. After wake up, he returned back his normal condition, and healthy status. Although it was Guinness World Record, Guinness quits to pick up this item into their record anymore from safety point of view. Then, some scientists carried out similar experiment with rat, in 1989. After start experiment, gradually, they decrease their weight, and less activities. Weakened immune system after a while. And eventually, all rats dead, after 2 weeks' time. Scientists modified situation for further experiment. They prepared more food, good hygiene, comfortable environment. But, result was same. All rats eventually dead after 2 weeks. However, once scientists stopped experiment, and gave sufficient rest for rats, all rats fully recovered, after certain period. So, it proved, we need proper, and adequate sleeping time to maintain our healthy life. Even if you are sleeping in your lesson, I must close my eyes. And let you stay in your comfortable dreamland.
As the journey continues.